We are up to the month of May in my workout journal. Technically, you've already seen 2 days of May. May 2nd, where I dedicated my workout to Andrew Yoder, and as a matter of correction, I looked back in my records and it is May 2nd. I incorrectly identified it as May 1st in episode 13, but there's that. And then on May 9th, my trip up to the community college to get my body fat evaluated. I wanted to start with those specific days before I actually covered the whole month, but now they are out of the way, and so here we go. Let's take a look at May. The month of May is a very easy one to document for 2 reasons. One, it was very simple. What happened in it was not complicated or hard to explain. 2, it all went very well. In terms of attendance at the gym and effort exerted while at the gym, I look back on my notes for May and I am very satisfied. Earlier in the year, I had laid out in my notebook a sort of a pace car, how much I should be lifting each week to reach my goal of 315 pounds for each of the 3 power lifts. And for the month of May, I was able to meet all of those targets. In fact, you see me right there getting a little bit stoked, having reached the requirement for that day on that workout. So good stuff all around in the gym in May as the weather was warming up and summer was coming. I have discovered the older I get, I am very much a summer person. I used to love winter. Winter is now a very demotivating time of year for me. If nothing else, just because it means I have to get bundled up to go out in the cold, to get to the gym, to get changed, to do the workout, to get bundled back up again, and get back in the car and come home and all of that. So I love it when the weather starts to warm up around here. The warmer weather also enabled me to wrap up the 2019 Push-Ups Challenge offered by UK Harry on some nice sunny days. For a few days we were dog sitting a co-worker's pet, and at one point she tried to join in. It is an absolutely lovely May 11th as I am going to now finish up the final 70 push-ups of the 2019 Push-Up Challenge by Harry. And I think that puts me at somewhere around $23.50. I'll have to look it up, but these are the final 70. And while we're on the subject of push-ups, I do need to go back to this shot from April where everybody in my family was clowning around on the camera while I was trying to get the push-ups done. Something I didn't even notice the first time, a certain Mrs. Tiger was in the background. Married 19 years and we still know how to have fun. And that is May in a nutshell. Like I said at the beginning, it really is quite simple to describe. I got in some good workouts and I finished the push-up challenge. No other goals have been met at that time. Really? And so on that note, let's go to some reader comments that have come in over the past few episodes. First off, for everyone who watched episode 13 and offered condolences on the passing of Andrew Yoder, I do thank you. I won't quote any particular one of them here, but just thank you all for watching that video and letting me tell my small part of Andrew's story. In episode 14 about getting my body fat evaluated, toward the end of that episode I put up a little chalkboard graphic with an explanation of how much body fat I would have to lose in order to reach 10% body fat, and I said it was about 47 pounds. Now I did that just as a kind of an indicator, a way of giving some perspective of how much of me was fat. Walter Thurman did have this response, and I want to address it. I don't think that you will need to lose a full 47 pounds of fat, as you will be doing some converting to lean mass. Now that is absolutely true, and maybe I should have taken the time in that episode to explain more fully, but if I gain muscle mass, then that also will change my percentage of lean body mass. I could keep the 47 pounds of fat and just pack on more muscle, and that would change the percentage. It would make my percentage drop because as I was getting bigger, the weight that I was adding would be muscle mass. So ideally, what will happen over the course of several months is I will be burning off some fat and adding some muscle. And so it won't be that I need to drop a full 47 pounds. It will be more of a trade as I go. That's the hope and plan anyway. So Walter is absolutely right. I was just making a brief demonstrative point with that graphic. I do not plan or expect to have to lose 47 pounds of fat. When I started this video series, and indeed going all the way back to 2010 when I started my first YouTube channel on the subject of my getting fit, I never really expected anyone to watch. I was making it for me. I'm a filmmaker. I decided to take my filmmaking passion and mix it with my need for getting in better shape. It gave me something to do. It made that summer that much more fun. And so then I continued on in 2011 and forward until I started this official video series. Again, even now in 2019, I'm doing it for me. Anyone who goes to YouTube and subscribes, anyone who finds any way to watch it is a bonus, is an encouragement. But I'm really not seeking the million plus thumbs up on YouTube. Probably won't ever get there until I actually have abs. But it is very encouraging when not only does someone watch, but they stick around and they have encouraging things to say. I've quoted Dominic before. We've known each other online for about 5 years, but he had this to say. I got to hand it to you, bro. There are about 10 million videos on fitness on the net, even more on YouTube alone. You're about the only one I watch all the way through, and it's due to you being genuine. I do watch many followings that I have, but it's rare that I sit through the whole thing, as they are all slinging some kind of supplements or some kind of cookie-cutter program. Dude, you're real. Keep being real and keep producing real results. Yes, I am saying this during Thursday Night Football with a killer buzz, but I mean it. That's certainly always been my intention, and it's easy to live out that intention because I don't have a showcase body. I'm not someone who started his YouTube channel after years of crafting an amazing body and using a lot of supplements or even steroids. There's really not much I can fake here. There's not much I can shill for. If I'm going to tell my story, I have to be honest. I do throw in humor. I can't help it. Humor is part of who I am, so even that is being honest. I try to make it lively and engaging because I've sat through YouTube videos on health and fitness that are boring. Sometimes it's just some guy, some 20-year-old who maybe he's never made a video, and I'm not trying to heavily fault him, but all he does is he actually just sits there. It's a talking head for 10 minutes while he tells you what he did at the gym, and my thought is, take your camera to the gym. Show me what you did. Make it interesting. If I can say my words right, if I can craft one of these videos, if I can sit through it and work on it to my sense of perfection and still be entertained by it myself, then I feel it's safe to post to the internet and hope that you all enjoy and get educated from. And on that subject, as I record this, I may as well not pretend or try to keep it a secret. It is almost 2020. I know the subject of the video was May of 2019, but time in the real world is moving faster than I can keep up with these videos, which is something I'm going to have to fix in the new year. But until then, it does mean I can look back over the whole year, and I'm excited to say that in 2019, at least two people, maybe a third, I'd have to think back, but at least two people discovered this video series and watched it all the way through, rapidly catching up. They discovered it later in the year and started to watch quickly to get caught up, and had very enthusiastic things to say. They pretty much became instant fans. I'll introduce you to one of them another time after I've checked with him about actually telling his story. The other one is a young man who actually lives right here in Redmond, and I met him one day through Instagram. Parker and I have now had several online conversations about his goals, my goals, how we could possibly benefit each other, learn from each other. We've also met in person, and I've shot the footage to include him as a guest on this channel. I will include that episode when I get around to talking about my December of 2019, so it could be a little while, but you will meet him. For now, I just want to quote one small part of a conversation we had because I was a bit surprised that a 20-year-old would be this interested in a video series made by a 40-something overweight guy who is himself still learning and still struggling. And among the many things he had to say is this sentence, which I really value. I really appreciate what you're doing because I know there isn't anything like what you're doing on YouTube. And part of me is actually a little amazed at that. It seems like there should be more people out there, more average guys, documenting what they're doing, what they're going through. On the other hand, I'm not surprised because the channels that get the attention are the ones made by the already self-made muscle men, and they are huge, and they are awesome to look at, and they are inspiring, and they've got that beast mode kind of attitude when they present themselves, and they are starting their channels with years of knowledge behind them, and so those ones, yeah, I can see those ones have the more instant appeal, the more wow, look at this guy kind of thing. So I do appreciate when I get that one guy, as opposed to the million over there, I get that one guy who comes along and says, I need this information. I like what I'm learning here. And Parker is one of those. We hadn't even met yet when he said, I'm up to episode 5 or something like that, and I've already learned some stuff for my own workouts. So I'm glad, and I hope that I can continue this channel and that it will continue to be helpful and instructive. And I think I've said it before even. I subscribe to some of those channels of the big buff bad guys. They are inspiring, they are motivating, and many of them do take some time to be educational along the way. So I'm not knocking them, but thank you to those who do find something valuable here. I hope that I do bring value to your physical fitness pursuit and will continue to do so into the future. Stick around. Somewhere out there, I will bring you Parker's story as well. I want to wrap up this episode by addressing once again the reality that it is almost 2020. I had a dream back in December of 2018 of creating a video series that would release one new episode every week for consistency so that people knew exactly when they could see the next episode of A Body in Progress. I should be at episode 53, and instead you're watching episode 15, so I was way off. I'm going to try to improve that in 2020, but given that I don't make a living making these videos, I have to squeeze them in around my job and family life, I probably will still not add 52 or one every week in 2020. I'm going to aim high. If you're watching this in December of 2019, I'm recording it between Christmas and New Year's, so I hope you had a good Christmas, and I hope your New Year absolutely rocks. If you are someone who just discovered this channel and you're headed into 2020, now is a great time to set some goals. Now is a great time to grab a camera, take a progress picture on January 1st. Do it. Do it in shorts, do it in underwear, do it naked. I don't care. If you do it naked, don't post it. But get yourself something. Get yourself a file you can keep on a computer so that 6 months from now, in July of 2020, you can look back, and 12 months from now, you can look back. Because I will tell you, fitness takes a while. And if you don't have ways of looking back and seeing what you have achieved, you can feel like you're going nowhere. And so that's just my little bit of encouragement there. At this point, I'm just really kind of making it up as I go along. I look forward to the new year myself and making some great achievements there. I will catch you up on the rest of 2019. I'm not just going to drop it, so we will keep looking back until I am caught up. So thank you for watching. You will notice this absolutely stunning Santa hat that I have here. One of the really nice things about this hat is that it is long enough for me to wear nothing but this hat and still be decent in public.